Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Fantastica Mania. We had a really great show tonight. It was hosted by CMLL, so we're back in Arena, Mexico for another good show. This particular show had New Japan wrestlers there as well, Rev Pro wrestlers there as well. So a little bit more people, a little bit more variety in terms of the stars that we got a chance to see tonight. Now, I do want to point out right before I get into the results, a specific comment that I personally kept getting when I've talked to people about the whole Mercedes situation was, we would not know. This is people, other people saying this. We would not know who so-and-so is. We would not know this particular promotion if she didn't win the title from that promotion. While a statement like that can be true, who the hell is we? See, this is the thing here when it comes to Americans in general. Like Americans, when it comes to all forms of entertainment, they feel like they have the best entertainment, and that if Americans don't know something or have not heard of something, that it must not be good or it must not be as great as something from America, which is such a huge misconception. Like there is a whole world out there full of entertainment, and just because you're from America and you're only used to seeing what's in that American bubble doesn't mean that the rest of us, especially some of us in America, don't know anything outside that bubble. So honestly, I don't really feel like it's a fair statement for people to feel like because of I'm used to seeing what I'm used to seeing, that other things outside of that is not known, not well known, or not as great, which is a motherfucking lie. And this is why shows like this is really great when you see promotions, well, in terms of wrestling, promotions getting together to put a show on using some of the best of the wrestlers that they have in their promotion to represent them. So I really, really do love shows like this. Now, while this is great to be able to have all these promotions come together, sometimes it does show flaws within some of the wrestlers and how they're being booked in their home promotion. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Obviously, we're going to start off with the ladies first because we got to get that out the way, unfortunately. We did start off with Kira going against Red Velvet. Red Velvet, she wrestled on Tuesday, she wrestled on Wednesday. That's for the Ring of Honor taping. I don't know when that's going to be coming out. And she wrestled again tonight. No title on the line tonight, but she looked a freaking amazing. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did think she was going to lose. She did lose her match on Tuesday, which I felt like was a mistake. I do feel like if a champion is going against someone who isn't a champion, might as well protect that person and have them take the win, which is like, it's not a problem. But tonight it was a champion versus champion type of situation, but neither one of these titles were on the line. So for me, I was like, it probably doesn't really matter, but I would prefer for Red Velvet to at least get a win on the show. Now she does end up taking the win, but Kara gave her a ass whooping before she ended up taking the win. Now she threw her into the crowd, and honestly, for a quick second, I was just like, she not dead, right? Red Velvet isn't dead. But she was all right. Continued the match, and I thought they had great chemistry. This is one of those situations when I said, like, it kind of reveals the flaws. Like, she's an amazing wrestler. Unfortunately, she's just kind of glued to that Ring of Honor thing where it's just like you don't see her outside of that, unfortunately. And watching her these past few days in Mexico, I'm seeing how talented she is, and other people are seeing that too, and they're wondering, well, why aren't we seeing girls like this being featured on television more? And unfortunately, I have no answer for you. But this was a really great matchup, really great way to start off the show, and I'm hoping we get a chance to see a hell of a lot more when it comes to Red Velvet. Now after this, we have La Jarochita going against Thunder Rosa. I'm trying to remember, last time I think we seen, at least in terms of AEW, seeing Thunder Rosa was during the Owen Hart Cup. I was pulling for her or Jamie to win the cup because, I mean, Thunder Rosa, she needs a redemption thing going on right now for her to, come rise from the ashes and probably possibly even get her hands on the AEW Women's Championship. I was hoping for that, but obviously we have other plans with Mercedes, so that's not happening. I had high hopes for her for this match. I was like, man, I just straight up feel bad for her. Not necessarily that, oh yeah, she should win because XYZ. This is literally like, girl, I'm feeling bad for you. You're really talented, but you've been taking a lot of L's. They ain't got nothing for you on the show in terms of AEW. She's on Ring of Honor right now. Maybe going to go against Athena for the women's title at what's the Supercard of Honor pay-per-view the night before All In. That's probably where we're going, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. So, she looks great. She comes out there with her Mexican gear. And when has Thunder Rosa ever looked bad, especially when it comes to her gear? She always looked fucking amazing. And like I said, I was just having high hopes for her because it just have not been going so well for her since she's returned. And she ends up taking the L. And it was depressing to see because when you're following a particular wrestler and you're seeing like things are plateauing and not really moving up or anything, it does kind of feel a little horrible to see that play out in the long run. So I don't know where things are going to go for her at this point. She did look a little sad after taking the win, but then, the Mexican crowd, they're going to love their girl anyway, so they end up cheering for her after this. But man, I'm hoping to see better things for her because this is just one of those situations where it's just like, holy shit, she's fucking amazing, but I feel like she just doesn't get that star treatment when it comes to being on AEW. Up next, 8-man tag, we have Los de Peradores teaming up with Galeon Fantasma to go against Rocky Romero, Robbie X, and crew. Now, before this actually even starts, before the match starts, so, okay, for those of you who didn't know, the other day when Leo Rush came out, they kept chanting a name called Kalimba, and this is a Mexican singer who looks like Leo Rush. So they were calling him that, and Leo Rush had put on social media the other day, like, who the fuck is that? Like, why y'all calling me that? And it turns out the guy comes to the show tonight and they're kind of pointing at each other like the Spider-Man meme or whatever. And I was just like, holy shit, they actually do look alike. Because I didn't look it up before that, so I wasn't really sure. But they actually look alike. Even the hair is very similar. The style, they're like the same height. And I was just like, holy shit, like they look very much like brothers. And not twins, but brothers. So that's a cool little thing that they end up doing there. Like I said the other day, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, they're damn near flawless in the ring. They just don't have any stories, nothing going on with them. So unfortunately, I don't feel like people are necessarily paying attention too much to them, but they absolutely been representing AEW since they've been in Mexico. They're not winning, but I'm pretty sure they've made some new fans while they've been in Mexico. Rocky Romero, I told y'all, if Rocky is in a match on somebody's team, they losing, and that's exactly what ends up happening. Baby faces end up taking the win, which is okay with me. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Up next, CMLL Women's Championship on the line. I know people were really surprised that Mercedes was already defending this title. The match was announced, I want to say, was it yesterday? She went against La Catalina. La Catalina had some things to say about her, basically saying she was going to get that title off and whoop her ass. And that did not happen. For me, I personally was like, I would not have mind for La Catalina to win. I actually really like her. I think she's a great wrestler. She is super babyface, and anybody can look at her and just fall in love with her without even seeing her in the ring. So for me, I was like, okay, we've seen her several times, quite a bit within AEW Ring of Honor, and for the most part she's won most of her matches, but she's only lost matches whenever a title was involved, like her match with Athena or her match with Red Velvet. So she never won an actual title, obviously, within Ring of Honor. Something about her work ethic and how she's gotten to the point where she's at right now made me feel hopeful in terms of her taking the titles off of Mercedes. Like, people have been saying, oh, well, Mercedes is one of the best wrestlers in the world. If somebody beats Mercedes, then, that will give them a lot of credibility. And I'm like, well, that might be true, but let's not, throw out the window everything that these wrestlers have worked hard for up until that point. So I was hoping for the best, but Mercedes ends up taking the win with a bank statement. So Mercedes is definitely going to end up taking that title on to All In. So I don't expect to see her lose anything else, at least up until she has that match with Toni Storm. Now after this, we have Ultimo Dorado going against Yoda Tsuji. Lord have mercy, that's a good looking man. Oh my God, every time I see him, that's a good looking man. This match ended off with disqualification. For me, I wasn't as excited. This was a little bit of a cool down for me. I was like, you know what, let me give me a little water or something. You know, I don't know, I just wasn't as into it as before. Like the other matches, so it was whatever for me. Disqualification didn't really matter at all. After this, we do have Los Ingobernables de Japón. We have Shingo Takagi, Lord have mercy, that's a good looking man, teaming up with Himuro Takahashi and Teton to go against United Empire, which is Francisco Akira, TJP, and Templario. Honestly, this is something that you would literally see on New Japan like any random time. This is literally New Japan guys just coming on over and wrestling on CML, which is fine with me and whatnot. For me, so honestly, I didn't even notice this, but everybody was like, this is the last time that LIJ was going to be together as a group. You guys already know Bushi already left, Knights already left. They got other things to do, so they've been gone for like over a month or so now. So these are the last members of the group. And from what I'm hearing, that this was supposed to be their last time together as a group, which I didn't even notice was happening. So I'll look a little bit more into that. But this was a really fun matchup to see these guys over, and I feel like the crowd really connected with them. And that's another thing too, like the crowd is so on fire. Now I don't think it was as much people as it was for Grand Slam Mexico, but it was a hell of a lot of people, and they were making a lot of noise, and I felt like they were super engaged with this. LIJ ended up taking the win, and they did their last little photo op right after that match, and I was like, holy shit, so what's going on? Like everybody seems to probably be going their own separate ways, which is okay with me. Now after this, Kevin Knight, Lord have mercy, going against Neon. For this match here, this is a 10-minute time limit, so either somebody win or you just don't. And Neon ends up taking the win with like less than 30 seconds. I think it was like a little bit more than 20, between 20 and 30 seconds left. Kevin Knight showed up and showed out though. That much I'll tell you. Now Neon, we've been seeing him on Ring of Honor past few months, and this is a thing. Like on Ring of Honor, a lot of the guys that were on this show and some of the other shows this week, they are always in multi-man matches. They have not given any of these guys an opportunity within Ring of Honor to actually do something one-on-one. So it was finally refreshing to actually see one of these guys in one-on-one action with somebody representing AEW or Ring of Honor. So that was a really nice touch there. Kevin Knight, better luck next time. Now for me, my second favorite match of the night, Ricochet going against Volador Jr. They've been teasing this for like over a month now between these two, and I've been waiting on this. Now, Ricochet, AEW with this Ricochet looking for other people to be part of a trio is a mistake. It's a mistake. And watching a match like this man needs to be doing single shit, not worried about having other people, no trios titles, tag titles, whatever. This man needs to be going for Continental, TNT. What's the other one over there? Something else over there. Oh, Internet. Well, you know what? We're busy with Okada and Kenny, but at least TNT. This guy, since he's left, look, let me just put it this way. I've never doubted his wrestling ability or whatnot. Like everybody's known, Ricochet has been a tremendous wrestler, but I feel like we've seen the best out of him, especially in terms of as a character since he's left WWE. Like he's really been able to blossom into just being something that he was not able to be when he was over there. So now I'm watching him in this match, so full of character. He really got the whole heel character down packed, and going against Volador Jr., who is loved by everybody. The crowd really hated his fucking guts. But it's one of those situations where it's like, I hate your guts, but I can't deny how fucking talented you are. This guy looks like $1,000,000 tonight. Ricochet ended up taking the win, obviously by cheating, before hitting the spirit gun. And I can't stress this enough. Whatever they're trying to do with Ricochet with joining a group or whatever, they need to abandon that idea right now. The time to put a singles title on this guy is literally around the corner. We don't need to take no detours to be doing anything else with Ricochet. This guy has exactly what they need in a champion. And honestly, Adam Cole, you don't need that TNT title any longer. All right, main event, we have Mystico and Mascara Dorado teaming up to go against Bandido and Hologram. This isn't a typical tag team match. This is a if you get pinned, you are out the match type of situation. So the team with the most members standing in the end ends up taking the win. What I had expected from the very beginning was for Mystico to be the last person standing in the match. I just thought it was going to end up with that it was going to be Mystico and Bandido at the end. That's what I was expecting for this to go. This was the best match of the night, absolutely. They all showed up and showed out. I like how Bandido and Hologram had the same colors. Like Hologram, he got that blue and orange, no, that blue and, what is it again? Blue and green thing going. And Mystico had the blue and green with the masks and the tights and everything. It was real cute. They look great. And Mystico and Mascara Dorado with white and gold. They love that man over there. Mystico, they love that man over there. They worship the ground that he walks on. So I didn't expect for him to lose. First person to actually be out was Mascara Dorada. And I thought it was weird because when they pinned him, Mystico was literally watching the whole damn thing. Like, he was right there watching it. And then he just kind of got upset when he realized that it was just him going against Hologram and Bandido. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you watched him pin him. Like, he didn't really make an effort. So what are you surprised about now? So now it's just those three in the ring. And after that, I think that last, I want to say like less than like 3 minutes or 4 minutes before the match ended up taking to be over. So what ends up happening here is Mystico goes for a La Mystica onto Bandido. Bandido counters, beautiful counter by the way, into a crucifix pin. And just as referee hits 3, Mystico, kicks out, but it's too late. We already heard at least one of the referee's fingers hit the ground, and that's 3. Mystico looks shocked. Bandido, we can't see his face, so I don't know. Just his expression, you could tell he's super shocked. And the whole crowd, now could be wrong, because there was audio issues towards the end of the show. And I couldn't really tell if they were booing or not. I feel like they were. But the audio kept going in and out when it came to the crowd, so I don't know what the fuck I was hearing. I'm not even gonna lie, I really don't know. If they were booing, I'm not surprised because obviously Mystico gets pinned. Which I guess no one over there is okay with. For me, it don't even really matter. They had the streamers and all that shit popping up and whatever to celebrate. And like I said, it still sounded like people was booing. Now, Bandido and Mystico, they're on the mic after this. Long story short, Mystico is saying that, they should have a match one-on-one. And if I know Spanish correctly, which I'm sure I do, next week, I don't know if they will. They haven't confirmed, but this is what he said on the mic. I would not have expected something to be that soon to happen one-on-one between the two of them. The crowd, in my opinion, like I said, if anybody was there, if anybody had a better feed than I did, the crowd seemed to have been booing. And then when it seemed like they were booing, it kind of seemed like Mystico would try to redirect the feelings of the crowd so they wouldn't be booing Bandido. It's not that they don't like him, they just didn't want him to win. And we're going to end up having this match with the two of them. And apparently it's next week. Like I said, I don't know if it's 100% official. Just because they said it doesn't mean it's going to be happening. I'll let y'all know for sure if it's something that's going to happen. Overall, really great show. Tony Khan, when are we going back to Mexico? I need to get my passport together because I gotta be over there next time. There is another show going on, I believe tomorrow night, but I think it's just New Japan, and I don't think AEW wrestlers are going to be on that. I'll check the card and see what's going on, but we do have Collision tomorrow, finally, with 8 women tag match. So Tony Khan has been hearing the complaints. That includes Athena to actually be on there. So Tony Khan knows that we've been up his ass about this whole thing with the ladies. But overall, it's been a great week over in Mexico, and I can't wait for them to do it again. You guys know we have Forbidden Door in August, so I'm hoping for a nice build up with that. You know what? Let me put my hopes down on that. But I'm hoping to see quite a few collaborations with other promotions during that time that they will be in the UK. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. If you didn't see the show, go ahead and check it out if you can. It was great. Can't wait for them to come back to Mexico. You guys, I'll see you on Saturday for Collision. Bye.